For those of you that don't know me, I'm John Ball. I'm a director consultant for the Dorset region, and Go Green is my little initiative. So what is Go Green? It's an initiative to help you make more money. Help is the important stuff there. We know that for those of you in the room that are new to this, we in BNI our mantra is give us gain. So that's the reminder you've got there. The give us gain is what we do. The more we give, the more we receive. And actually, what happens is we gain points for a few of the things that we do in BNI to go into the green. We have what we call a traffic light system. We're going to have a little talk about that now. Couple of stats. The 16 million has gone up to 19 million. In fact, it's gone up to 19.4 million. That's really important. I understand what you say, Malcolm, but it's really important that this is happening around the world. These are little pockets of money that are dropping into local communities around the world. That's why I believe that BNI is a real force for good. It's a very, very positive place to be at the moment. Vast majority of that 19.4, I dropped the 4 because it's 4.4 billion. The vast majority of that comes from green members. So the green members we go up the scale to get to the green, and that's where the green members are those that are contributing probably most. I wouldn't say everybody, but probably most. And it makes for better members. So the more of us that we get in the green, the better it becomes. BNI is an amazing organisation. It's a system. It's a process. It's a way that you start to do things for your business. And we must never forget that all of this is for our own business. It's not BNI. So these are the points. Sorry, I need to get me. There we go. I can't see my header. There we go. That's better. So just as an introduction or a reminder, these are the traffic lights. We have grey, then through red, amber, and then into green. 0 to 25 points. That's the start point. That's where we all start in BNI. What we're finding, because we are a lot more proactive in the last 2 years now with training, very early on training, and we do stuff differently from other regions, which has helped. We're finding that new people are going straight through the red. You would normally go grey and then spend a month or 2 in the red, and then you move up. We are seeing them go straight through to the amber, which is a real good sign that we're going in the right direction and our policy is correct. So that's what we do. So these are the 7 elements of the traffic lights. These are kind of, it's not where we're judged. We're not judged, but everything is measured. Every business should measure, every organisation should measure where it's going, because we don't know where we're going if we don't know where we've started. Traditions and innovation, which is actually my favourite core value. That's probably why I won it. Never mind, let's not mention that. Anyway, these are the traffic lights. These are the 7 key elements. So you need to be in the room. So absenteeism, top left. You need to be in the room. If your business wants to be represented, you need to be there. Nobody's going to represent you otherwise. And actually, these are the 7 things that BNI says. If you do these well in your business will succeed and it will grow. Okay, so absenteeism, referrals, how many referrals you give. We are judged on kind of on that, because that means you've got the right mentality. You've got a giver's gain mentality within BNI. We thank each other for the business. It's good manners, and we look at introducing people into BNI. And we don't, as Malcolm says, we don't sell BNI. You either like it, it's either right for you, or it's not. For those that do make it work, it is a phenomenally positive thing. Testimonials, we give testimonials quite a lot, and we do lots of one-to-ones. So we are kind of in the referral game, we're in the networking game, but actually we're in the reputation game as well. I think that is really important personally. If you take care of your reputation, people will immediately trust you and will immediately think of you when that opportunity arises. Immediately. It's a human thing. It's not anything other than a human thing. So we have lots of one-to-ones. We get together and they are structured, half an hour each, talking about the business, where you're going and what you're doing and how can I help. And then we have a thing called CEUs, which are chapter education units. We have a vast, I mean, huge array of training that's online and personal. And that's just going to get bigger and bigger, certainly in Dorset, because we are putting together a proper face-to-face training team. So in the case of CEUs and education, in business, you should be learning. Otherwise, you're static. So they're the 7 key elements: absenteeism, represent your company, referrals, better quality and more. Thank you for the business. So it's always good to say thank you. Make sure that goes on the system, because it will help absolutely everybody in the chapter and in the region, in the UK and global and so on. So they're the 7 key elements. But let's look at some of the figures that we have at the moment. This is from December. I haven't got January's figures yet. These are the amount of people that we have in the green and in the amber, in the red, and new people coming through. Okay, so let's just digest that for a little bit. Clearly, we are always, the amber is going to be bigger. However, my role is to get everything moving up one. That's my job. That's what I've taken on. For the region, that's what we're doing. So that's you can see that with 31 people there, it's above the amber. And if you look at that per seat, it's around about that at the moment, roughly. It will change, and it is quite fluid. So if you look at the drop going from green to red, it's quite a drop. Quite a drop. Now you have to bear in mind that this is actually what you're giving. This is what a BNI member is giving per seat, roughly, there or thereabouts. Okay, so anybody that's in the green is giving almost £28,000. This is in a 6-month period, by the way. This is all in a 6-month period, because that's how the traffic limits work. Okay, and we work on, if you give one referral, you're likely, so if you give 2 referrals, you're likely to get 1 back. That's the rule of thumb. But as you can see by the stats, it's not quite that. It's actually better than that in Dorset. Absolutely better than that in Dorset. This is Stratus. This is where you stand at the moment. 2422. That's good. That's good stuff. And we have the number 1 in the region sitting in the room there. He's got a little smirk on his face. So Alex, yeah, I always like to point out people in the room that will do particularly well. Yeah, Alex is number 1. I think I'm number 13 or 14. And Charlotte from Bay, from my chapter, is hot on your heels. She's not happy. So just giving you heads up, Alex. All right, she's not happy. Okay, that was for Prestige, the figure. So how does Go Green work? So we're offering 30-minute exploration sessions. I'll send you my calendar, or I'll show you my Calendly link at the end of this. And that's just to have a little chat about where you want to go, how you want to do. This is not about this is not a negative thing. This is a positive thing. We want to get. We assume everybody wants to earn more money. So that's what the whole of Go Green is about. We'll have one-to-one sessions with those who want to improve their score. Monthly webinars. First one I think is next month, and group forums moving forward. And we'll use Business Builder and Passport to Success to do that. I'm in the process of putting together the top 18. We've got 18 people that are 10 points out of the green. So I'm concentrating on those to start with. So yes, so it's a batch of 5s and the batch of 10s. That won't take very long to get into green. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. I'll give you for instance, what tends to happen with leadership teams is they tend to be so focused on their chapter that they forget themselves. So that's built into Go Green, that we are alerting, especially alerting leadership team members that, okay, you're dropping a little bit. Now that happened to me, and I went from the green and I went into the top tier of red, and I got a nudge saying, you're in the red, you know that, right? So after a few expletives, I've never been in the red, ever, never. After a few expletives and some choice words, I threw a bit of furniture. I didn't do any of that. I did the choice words. I didn't do the furniture. I was back in the green within 3 weeks. So it can be done. It can be done. So one of the things that I'm doing with the A team to start with is going through their traffic lights and putting a little plan together for them. It could be just to do a 1 hour of CEUs, or it could be a list of things. It's best that you try and do this, and that will get you. Most of the fives are just outside the green. All they need to do is write a testimonial because they haven't done one of those in 6 months, and they're in the green. And it's a place you really want to be, because believe me, nobody gets beer or dinner out of Paul Haley, but you do if you're in the green, because you'll get together. All right. So that will start coming out in the next week. The goal is to get 70 to 80 members consistently in the green by spring 2023, and to have an effective, not that it's ineffective, but to have an effective training regime that's the envy of all other BNI members. Speaking to Duncan Webster, who's the keynote speaker, he wants to apply this to his region, and he's got quite a big region, various regions. So that's where we want to be. We want to shout about what we're doing, because we're doing some great stuff. Nearly done. What you can do when you have your little meeting with me is check your own traffic lights back here. So that's where you would log on to your own traffic lights. So if you want to check those, check your own traffic lights, that's where you would go. Yeah, there it is. And pinpoint your weaknesses and come armed with them. I hate these things. And book into a session and be open to discussions. Okay. They are becoming really fruitful and really good. The guy that got the special award, Paul, I was particularly pleased with Paul, who got the special award in BNI, because he was floating around the red, and I had an 1.5-hour session with him, and he's at the top of the green. So it can be done. Can be done. Okay, right, and we're nearly done, and that's available now. So any of those you can book onto it. There are my email addresses. There's the Calendly link if you want to take a note of that. But this is a really positive step forward for us. Other regions do it slightly differently. We're doing it a lot more hands-on and a lot more super friendly like. So that's it. Any questions?
Oh, I've got a question. Just to say, yes, thanks so much for this, because obviously my journey started with you doing this for me.
Oh.
And Alex has pushed me along, because it was only when he started showing the numbers, being a numbers person, I just thought, oh my God, I need to do something about this. And you're exactly right. You just need to do a few bits and pieces in all slots together. And what I will say, because I'm the mentor here, that's the one thing that I'm directing people to, your training, because and I didn't realize you've got all this background stuff going on now, so I'll do it even more. But that's the one thing I'm directing people to, because obviously it starts with what you've just shown us today. So, but it's really, really helpful. And I think it's really important for me to just keep going with all of this. And I find that, as I said, as the mentor, I'm just pointing people in your direction. Just really appreciate that you've got all this other stuff going on as well. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's a very simple process. You get those 7 key elements. This is where I fell down, of course. There you go. That's what I looked at. They are my traffic lights. That's what I looked at, and it tells you where the holes in your process are. Visitors. So you use Business Builder if you want to go down that route. You use Business Builder to go and learn everything there is to do about visitors, or everything to do about, you know, the effective referrals. It's all there to help people, and we're just kind of notching it up a little bit to make it a little bit easier. Oh, hello, that's gone. There we go. Any more questions? So I've taken up. There's a big old long ed slot. Sorry about that.
John.
No. Go.
Just quickly, previously we've had an opportunity for the Green Club members to get together. Is that something that's still going to continue this year?
Yeah, Green Club is every quarter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it really is a place you want to be, because it's those top earners, those people that are giving most. You know, 250,000. That's that sort of region. We are judged on what we give. That's what we do. We're judged on what we give, which I think is fantastic. It's a brilliant concept. But yes, they will be continuing. Yeah, and they will be face to face as well.
That's Premier League for referrers and inviters of people.